Our vision is of a society where economic prosperity and quality of life comes not from exploiting the natural world, but from its defence.
Some will tell you that green issues are a luxury in times of economic hardship. Wrong. Green policies are essential if we are to get out of this mess and create a sustainable and fair economy.
We must hand on to our children a planet worth living on, and that requires action.
We have a vision of a greener Britain. This is a country which has become the world's first low-carbon economy. How are we doing, chaps? Stephen, how are your students taking your new politics lectures?
Insolent fools, you know.
Really?
Yeah, well, you know, Worcester University always attracts the drinks of society.
Now, lads, that's in fact, we should be helping the working class to educate themselves.
No, Stephen's right. I'm only here because Eton currently don't need my expertise.
Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, cracking pair, lovely job, please.
No, you sexist pig, that!
Let's have a look.
Scotland have been paying while bribing people to spread doubt about climate change, fuelling more scepticism.
Stories like this that totally undermine the good work the coalition government have done so far.
Conservative and Lib Dem policies are backed up by peer-reviewed science to make sure our policies incorporate the need to reduce our carbon emissions to mitigate the onset of climate change.
Bear in mind, if someone hadn't left us the deficit, this would be a lot easier to tackle.
And what are you trying to say, Mr. Lib Dem?
I'll tell you, the Labour Party used climate change as an excuse to impose stealth taxes as an underhand way to claw the nation out of debt. Look what that got us.
Well, the Labour Party have a record of decreasing green taxing, yet you, in your party manifesto, you plan to increase them.
And I suppose your policy of shifting climate change responsibility onto the EU is any better. At least the Tory party have acted quickly on climate change and made it their responsibility. I can't possibly see how your policy of making it the EU's problem will be effective.
You almost sound believable. Listen to yourselves. You don't really care about the environment, do you? You calm down for a start. You're no better than Lib Dem and Tory boy over there. The fact that you support a third runway for Heathrow doesn't put you in Electro's good books. Even these two have had the sense of scrapping the idea.
And what does your precious Green Party propose then?
Well, for a start, we totally oppose nuclear power as a carbon-neutral alternative. It's expensive and dangerous to public health.
Well, what else do you propose? The Conservatives see it as a lesser of two evils.
We need to develop greener technologies and renewable energies. Not only is this good for the environment, it also stimulates economic growth.
Well, if you want economic growth and to protect the environment, you want to check out the Green Deal.
Oh yes, and what's that?
We're committed to being the greenest government ever, but the Green Deal's about a lot more than just saving the planet. It's actually about saving money. This is going to be the biggest home improvement programme since the Second World War.
I think the Green Deal is potentially very exciting. It's a chance for Britain's homeowners to improve their homes, which they love doing, without having to part with any cash up front.
Every Green Deal journey will start with a professional assessment to work out what your home needs. Everyone will be able to spend up to £10,000. There's a golden rule. The costs of putting in these improvements must always be less than the savings that they generate over 25 years. From day one, people will see their bills go down and will be better off.
Essentially, the Green Deal is a new coalition policy that facilitates homeowners improving the energy efficiency of their home whilst minimising the upfront costs of the homeowner.
This is very similar to Labour's own policies, but this is nothing new. In fact, you are simply reinventing the wheel.
This is where both the coalition and Labour are going wrong. What are you offering the electorate? You're like sheep. Tailoring your policies to current affairs and voters' interests, each time letting them down. The Green Party offers a real alternative.
So, it's decision time again. Who's going to get your vote? Labour? The Conservatives? The Liberal Democrats? You've got to ask yourself though, does it even matter? These days red often seems like blue, and blue like red. Left moves a bit right, right moves a bit left, and as for them, well, they can't seem to decide where they should be. In fact, it seems that increasingly the only thing separating these three parties is the colour of their rosettes. And if they're all so similar, well, it begs the question, who's really different? Who can bring about real change? The Green Party can. Of course, when it comes to the environment, you know that we can run rings around the opposition. might be thinking we wouldn't tackle the day-to-day issues we're all facing, like healthcare and financial inequality, unemployment and pension shortfalls. Well, it might be time to think again, because...
That's all very nice and fluffy campaign tactics, but a Tory spokesman has hit the nail on the head in this article. A spokesman for the Conservatives said the Greens wanted a something-for-nothing culture. If they want to be a serious party, they need to set out credible plans to deal with the economic mess left by Labour, rather than offering more spending, more borrowing and more debt. You're a single policy party and you do not have the experience in the Commons, nor the internal politics of this country.
Yes, it is correct. We are totally dedicating to mitigating climate change, but as a party we intend to restructure British society on this idea. We'll be building the economy on the premise that it promotes peace and prosperity globally, whilst leading the world to a more sustainable future based on renewable energy. There is a bright future for Britain under Green Party policies.
And what experience does the Green Party have in international affairs? None. No one's ever going to take the Green Party seriously in the international community.
Shut up, cheerleader. At least we take climate mitigation seriously, instead of whoring ourselves out to the Tories to get your foot in the door of number 10 and hands down Cameron's knickers.
I think we've riled the militant tree hugger.
Ah, yeah. If you want to get your facts right, Cameron came to Lib Dems in the first instance. It was he who suggested on the issues which the party could collaborate. And it was in the interest of the British public that we took the initiative when the government became insolvent. It could no longer be left in Labour's hands, could it?
Oi! The Labour Party has solid plans to use climate change mitigation as a catalyst for economic recovery.
A new Labour government is committed to pioneering the new green and technological revolution with a green investment bank, high-speed rail service and broadband for all. Add a £4 billion growth fund, capital allowances and tax incentives to encourage entrepreneurship, and you get more jobs and more opportunities, which all adds up to less deficit, halving it within 4 years.
Before Labour lost power, I'll have you know that the Trade and Industry Secretary Alistair Darling and Environmental Secretary David Miliband had projected the need to tackle such issues as climate change mitigation head-on by preparing a new long-term vision and a plan for energy in the UK.
But by then it's too late. Labour have got us into too much trouble. They've sold the public out over and over again since 1997. They continually distribute aid out from the taxpayers' pockets willy-nilly, and no regard on all the Lib Dems of implementing ways to raise funds to help poorer countries to adapt to climate change without the taxpayers footing the bill.
The fact of the matter remains, so nobody voted in the current coalition government, so why do they think it's okay to take this upon themselves to lead the country without consulting the people first?
Well,
climate change is more than international boundaries and should not be made a plaything of the party politics.
look, at the end of the day, the Tories won the majority, and that's despite a hung Parliament. If the Lib Dems had never have acted, we ran the risk of allowing Labour to take the initiative in number 10, and nobody wanted Gordon Brown dead-end policies to continue dragging this country down.
However, no single party can truly say that they have all the answers, though the fact remains that there is a consensus for anthropogenic climate change.
Excellent point, Dr. Mayo. You really are a working class hero. It does seem a shame that the true issue of climate change is being muddied by party politics. Unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast.